Well, good morning, everybody. This is Catherine Toon, and I have a great message to share with you today. It's called Partaking of God's Delights, but I have to say, I'm so amused. Okay, so I was just spending some time praying with the Lord and just spending some time just talking to him, just talking to him and listening to him and sharing my heart and all of that and decreeing and declaring some things and all that kind of stuff this morning. But what was so funny is I kept on hearing this music, and it sounded like the music you hear when the ice cream truck comes around. Now, you have to realize it's February. We've got snow, a lot of snow on the ground, and I'm like, there is no ice cream truck combing the neighborhoods. So I went like, okay, I feel a little crazy. So I go downstairs, couldn't hear it. Then I go back upstairs. I could hear it when I was in my room where my phone was. And then I go on the other side of the house, couldn't hear it. And it was just back and forth. I'm like, is this like a sign? I'm like, I don't think this is a sign. I don't want to hyper spiritualize everything. But, what is it? So I was talking to the Lord about it. It's kind of driving me a little bonkers. Good morning, Michelle. And so finally, and the Lord said, well, I want you to partake of my delights. And he brought up this ice cream truck with, when you have an ice cream truck, it goes around and you have all sorts of treats to sample from. And, and so God is like that. And he's mobile. He comes to you. And you get to sample his delights. But the funny thing was, I can't get over this. This is so funny. Is that I finally realized, like 5 minutes before I went on, that this music that sounded like it was from the ice cream truck, Hi Shawana, was actually coming from my phone. I guess I'd inadvertently put some sort of like instrumental music on in YouTube, and it was playing really faintly. And so I realized that's where it was coming from. So I was really glad I wasn't, assuming this was I was hearing into the spirit and getting all hyper spiritual about it. But this is what I love about God, is that even in the place where, wow, I pressed, the funky button and was having this music, it was going all over the house trying to figure out where this thing was coming from. God uses it. He can use anything to show himself, even your goofiest, silliest things. So, but anyway, so I was just kind of meditating on this sampling God's delights. And one of the things that he was showing me is also that his expression of who he is in a delightful fashion is how we are expressions of him. That as we enjoy one another and value one another and see the gifts of and the gifts in one another, we are literally sampling his delights, because we are his delight. We are the objects of his passion. And he delights in his kids. And because he made us so brilliantly and creatively and uniquely, I'm looking at, the people that are flashing up. Hi, Shawana. Hi, Michelle. And I'm thinking, oh, God, what amazing delights, what amazing, delightful expressions of God there are. So when we come together and we enjoy one another, we are truly sampling his delights. We are truly partaking of the delights of God in one another. Hi, Cynthia. So I was just so amused that God just kind of took this kind of silliness and used it for something to show something really brilliant and really breathtaking. That is so God, right? How many of you, we do kind of silly, stupid things. And God was like, no problem. I'm going to run with it. Let's do this thing. And that is just that nature of God. God is so easygoing. He's relaxed. He's not uptight. And he's going, great, we're going to run with it and partake of it, because God is able to show himself in everything. I was thinking about earlier today about, something that was not a godly thing. Like it was it was this statement that I remember someone had made about Marilyn Monroe, and that kind of the sexuality that she oozed was as easy as ice cream. Okay, so this is not like, wow, holy, 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 the whole earth is filled with his glory. It was basically just that. I mean, honestly, someone's lusting after Marilyn Monroe, right? And his perspective of it. But I remember God saying that, wow, you know what? The sampling of my delights is just that easy. The way I wired you for pleasure and beauty and enjoyment and freedom is just that easy. It's just not in a fallen, constricted mindset, but he uses everything to point to his goodness. And, people that don't know him point to who he is. Why? Because he's in them. He's one with them. They're an expression of God, even if they hate that. Someone had commented on a post that I had made and basically said, you're delusional and God is not real. And, you can go with this fantasy if you want. And I can't remember actually how I responded. I was like, okay, no problem. So appreciate you commenting, and I'm just believing for amazing, beautiful things for you. And that's just how I left it. And, they kind of made a kind of crass remark and exited the conversation, which was fine. But I was thinking, you know what? God is in that person that, is like God, that says, God is a fantasy and you're delusional, and it's kind of nasty burger about it. You know what I mean? He's in that person. And I just believing, for everyone that doesn't know him and for all of us that do know him and want to know him deeper, that he's so vastly able to share himself in a language that means something to them. You know what I mean? And he can speak through a donkey, he can speak through everybody. And I love that. And I love the fact that we get to enjoy that in one another. Absolutely, Shawana, it is about oneness. It is that we're one. We're one in him and us and him, all of that. And part of the joy, part of heaven on earth is embracing one another and enjoying one another. Isn't that amazing? So that we never have to be in competition, but that we can enjoy the glory that is resident in one another. And as we do our thing and manifest that glory, it is glorious and it is breathtaking and it is so much fun. When you love someone, you want to see them thrive. You want to see them express all the gifts that are in them. You want to see them tracking on all cylinders, so that there's no room for jealousy or competition or strife, because where there's strife and envy, there's confusion and every evil work. It's interesting in that, hi Karen, hi, I don't no idea, I'll probably say this so wrong, is it Khan? But anyway, nice to see you and love you too. Thank you for joining. So, in that place where there's strife and envy and confusion and every evil work, why we're confused? Because we're not recognizing that the delightful God that we are one with is being expressed in a unique flavor through that person, right? We're confused, right? So we're not able to enjoy the beauty and the power and, all of the things that have been placed inside that person and who that person is, right? And then we get into strife and jealousy. It's so crazy, right? We are so jacked up as a human race, but isn't it beautiful that God says, okay, I'm just coming right in the midst of that jacked upness, and I'm going to lift you up. I'm going to help peel back the things, the insecurities that you're operating in. I'm going to peel back the things that make you feel you have to do something to be something. I'm going to peel that back. I'm going to strip that off, and I'm going to unveil you as a son and daughter of God that looks just like me in your flavor. And in doing so, you can partake more of me because we're all one. That's beautiful. Only God can do that. And he's just masterful at his work. And so we can totally enjoy that. Anyway, I've got a lot to do this morning, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you for joining, and share this for someone who just needs to be confused. Just needs to be released for confusion. or amused, right? In all that. And just needs to get happy about kind of where we're heading as a body and how masterful that is. Anyway, I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.